Hey all, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Monday, welcome to Countdown Day, and this is going to be, as voted on by fans, the top 10 versions of Hot Rod / Rodimus Prime. I kind of put them together because they're the same guy. It's hard to kind of split them up, and depending on the fiction, sometimes he's called Hot Rod, sometimes he's called Rodimus Prime, sometimes he's called Rodimus, sometimes he's called Hot Rodimus. He goes by a whole bunch of names, but we all know who we're talking about. He's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share. Of course, subscribe, and while you are at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. So, I said that this was, as voted on by fans, I do have to say that some of the voting got compromised. We all know that earlier this past week, Meta had a breakdown. I guess is the best way to call it. It really messed up my threads, my Instagram, and my Facebook for a while. Some things that were supposed to post didn't post and whatnot. But I do think that we have a big enough, solid enough smattering of voters, sampling, there you go, of voters, that I think that most people will kind of, for the most part, agree with the way things shake out. Certainly toward the top of the list. But I'm not going to lie, there were some groups, some votes that got messed up because of the whole tech issue from earlier the week with Meta. So, that being said, we have a number of honorable mentions. Let's do those first. They include the classics with Fans Project Protector Armor. I thought that that was going to score higher than it did, but it did make an honorable mention. That was great. It was a real solid attempt, not only at an upgrade kit, but at a way to make the classics more articulated and be able to become Rodimus Prime as an all-in-one sort of transformation. It was an admirable attempt, for sure. The Shattered Glass, I'm going to say 86 Rodimus Prime / Hot Rod. It's the 86 mold, but it was what they used most recently for Shattered Glass. What else do we have here? Alternators. I don't even know that one, but I've only heard good things about the Alternators. Rodimus. I'm going to say Rodimus. I don't think it was a Hot Rod. I think it was a Rodimus. Titan's Return. I love that one. I think for a Hot Rod, it is the best one going. I know a lot of people hate it because it's like a Headmaster gimmicky thing. But I really like the Titan's Return. The G1 Rodimus Prime. And like, I get it. The G1 Rodimus Prime was so weird. The face looked so gobbledy old, man. There was like no articulation. You needed the trailer because without it, his alt mode was like a nothing. It was what we had at the time for the leader of the Autobots, but he didn't feel like a leader to me. And the Chaos on Velocitron, little Headmaster with the die-cast face of Rodimus Prime. If you don't remember that one, it was part of like a 5-pack, and it was just a little Titan Master. He was a Headmaster, well painted and stuff. I reviewed it here on the channel. None of those made the list. Not the Alternators, not the G1 Rodimus Prime, not the Titan's Return, the 86 Shattered Glass, or the classics with the Fans Project Armor. So, you know what we're going to do? We're going to look at those 10 slots now, and we're going to kick things off. We're going to kick things off with number 10 first. Coming in at number 10 for versions of Hot Rod / Rodimus Prime, we have the classics. Not with the Protector Armor or anything, just the good old classics. And you know what? There's a lot of imperfection to this mold, for sure. Mine is customized because I wanted to add orange, and it was the one that was part of the multi-pack, something over Cybertron, Battle over Cybertron or something with Cyclonus. I don't have the Cyclonus, I just have the Hot Rod. But there are things about this, while imperfect, that I really like and a lot of fans really like. They said it really looks like Hot Rod. He has his little saw blade that can come out. The way the spoiler was handled is really clever and really sort of works behind his shoulders, no problem. The head was a great sculpt. A lot of people really liked that. They thought the way the legs were done was quite clever. The only real gripe that a lot of people had is that the arms only go out this far. There's certainly an articulation limit on the upper arm, no bicep swivel, anything like that. So I get it. Before the time when this came out, some 2006, 2007, 2008, somewhere in that vicinity, he was quite good for the time. And when you look at him, despite his imperfections, I mean, come on, you're not going to mistake that it's Hot Rod. So yeah, the good old classics takes the number 10 slot. Number 9 is Brash, bold and full of bravado because it is the IDW version of Hot Rod, sometimes called Rodimus, sometimes called Rodimus of Nyan, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, his personification is kind of Hot Rod to the extreme. Like, he's very brash. He rushes in head first. He tries to be funny. I don't find IDW funny, but I know he tries to be humorous. He tries to be sarcastic, and he tries to have some humorous quips. He does aspire to be a leader. He doesn't really know how to do that. And I can respect that he has aspirations, but doesn't know how to do it. I don't feel like that he had a lot of character growth, though a lot of people did feel like he had character growth. Then we get to the design of the guy, and the design is pretty cool, a little bit different. I'm not sure how I feel about the way the crest on his head is done, but I know a lot of people like it. The Cloud Rodimus is kind of an homage, I think, to that version, as is, and this didn't have any votes, shockingly, the MMC version of Hot Rod. I think it's Hot Rod. I think that's who they go with, right? The MMC version that everybody loves. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's been sold out a long time. It's hard to find and all of this stuff. I think that's supposed to be an IDW version. Shocked that it didn't get any votes, especially since when we done best third-party companies, MMC was like the tops there, right? Nevertheless, the IDW Brash and Bold version of Hot Rod takes the number 9 slot. Number 8 is this guy. That's right, it is MP28. And I mean, what can you say about it? It looks like G1 Hot Rod jumped off the screen. A lot of people that are MP collectors also said that the MP9, is that what Rodimus Prime was so bad and so awful and so terrible that they hungered for a version of the character. And then this came along, and when this came along, a lot of people said, look, granted, he has a bit of a backpack and a lot folds up there, but man, oh man, great transformation, and he looks like he jumped off the screen. Very smooth, beautiful colors, nice and robust plastic. That's the feedback for MP28, like a polar opposite from the Rodimus Prime. By the way, I did try to review the Rodimus Prime, and the hip just shattered to pieces on it. Not the knees that everyone knows of, but the hip. In fact, luckily, our buddy Justin from the 3D Corner was able to 3D print and rebuild a new hip, since I didn't own that one. That was courtesy of Maximal 10. But MP28, I get it. It is a Hot Rod rather than a Rodimus, but it's done so splendidly well, and it looks so splendidly fantastic, and it took the number 8 slot. Number 7 was Energon Rodimus. And you know what? Everyone's going to be shocked about this. Everybody knows that I cannot stand Unicron Trilogy. I really can't. But Energon Rodimus was the very first version of this character that I ever got behind and liked, because he had grown up. He had gone from being the young, brash, arrogant Hot Rod to now he was a wise sage, battle-tested, battle-ready leader who had, infinite respect for Optimus, and Optimus had infinite respect for him. He's very loyal to Alpha Q. I mean, I think a leader should be someone that you can look up to and respect, and maybe that's why I didn't like the G1, because I didn't respect him. I really didn't. I was like, you're just a whiny crybaby. You don't even want to be leader. You gave the Matrix back to a corpse. That's how much you want to be irresponsible. You gave the Matrix of leadership back to a corpse. I couldn't get behind it and I couldn't support it. But when Energon introduced this guy, I was like, oh, here's another hot rod. And I watched a couple episodes and I don't remember the story or anything like that, but I do remember that he struck a nerve and I was like, yes, this is what he should have been. I'm so glad that fans supported this guy and I'm so glad that he appeared at the number 7 slot. Pour le numéro 6, on avait une version qui parle français. We have, of course, as I say all of that, at number 6, this guy. The Last Night Hot Rod. Shocked he made it. Shocked he made it as high as he did because a lot of people complained about him speaking French and a lot of people said, no, he doesn't look like Hot Rod. Yours truly was like, don't really see a Hot Rod here, but okay, sure, whatever. Those that voted for him, though, said it was nice to see a completely different take on the character, and they all pretty much mentioned his alt mode. The Lamborghini Centurio, is that how we say it? Cententerio? I don't remember. I don't know how it is. I'm not a car guy. I get in, I turn it on, it drives me places, go vroom. That's all I know. However, a lot of people love the alt mode. A lot of people like that it was a little bit of a different take, and a lot of people really like his like bubble time stop blaster because it's such a unique accessory, such a unique offensive attack. You know what? You're right. I agree. Number 6, TLK Hot Rod. What more is there to say? And now a hush falls over the crowd because we've reached the ever-coveted, ever-popular halfway mark. And at the halfway mark, we go all the way back to G1 and this guy. That's right, not G1 Rodimus Prime, but G1 Hot Rod. And you know what, we've seen the mold a whole bunch of times. Most recently it was released in animation accurate colors, but the G1 Hot Rod was great. Excellent, cool car mode. The robot was fun, hefty, solid. You had an elbow, so at least he could hold his blasters and, you know, pew-pew with the best of them, basically. Looked great. Still had a bit of a weird, wonky face that I wouldn't expect for Hot Rod. But you know what? The colors all came together. Everything came together for a chef's kiss design that, you know what, has stood the test of time because fans still love it enough that it was able to take the number 5 slot. 4 is one that I do not like, but fans do, and it's the Power of the Prime's Evolution, Rodimus Prime. I got it because I wanted a better hot rod than the one that I had, and I said, you know what? Even if I don't use the hot rod as hot rod, that hot rod by itself, without all of this attached to it, makes a pretty great Rodimus Prime. And it does. Again, it's not perfect. It has certain articulation limits, but it's a lot more functional. It's like taking the classics and saying, we're going to tweak this, do that, improve this. And that's what they did. And we ended up with a, they call it deluxe, but it's more of a Voyager class bot. When we put all of the pieces on it, I personally am really grated by the difference in red here and here. However, in alt mode, I agree with the fans. A lot of people that voted for this said, look, you get a hot rod, you get a Rodimus Prime all in one, plus the alt mode is really great and very much embodies what the guy should look like. Plus, if you're creative enough, you can even do his like battle platform. In fact, I showed that in a video. I'll probably link it somewhere up in the corner. How you can transform this to give you his kind of Rodimus Prime battle platform. I'll say this, as much as I have problems with the robot mode, man oh man, I absolutely adore the alt mode of Power of the Prime's Rodimus Prime. Fans love the all-in-one package that we get here enough that he was able to take the number 4 slot. And here we are at number 3, and I thought that number 3 might be number 1. If some of the votes hadn't been messed up, I really believe that number 3 could have made a push to number 1. Number 3 takes us to third party, and this guy, DX9's Carry. Very hard to get. I think there was a reissue in 2022, maybe even 2023. And I think he stands about 9.5 inches tall. Like, I think he's meant for MP collectors. Yeah, he has a big spoiler over his shoulders, but this is a robot that's an all-in-one Rodimus Prime that can just transform to the all-in-one vehicle. And guess what? The vehicle looks great. The robot looks great. The design is great. The articulation is second to none. I have never heard one person Not one reviewer, not one person I know, not one person I've interacted with that owns this that has said anything but positive things about it. They all say the same thing. DX9 hit it out of the ballpark. And who am I to argue with the fans? DX9's carry takes the number 9, or 3. I don't know why I said 9. I've been shoveling all day. It's been a long day. Took the number 3 slot. And number 2 is exactly why I avoided this one for so long, because number 2 is the fan favorite Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. I don't like this. And a lot of people really misunderstand why I don't like this. Like, most people don't, they completely miss the point. For me, this would be a fine, mediocre deluxe, but that's not what it was sold at. It was sold as a Voyager. Even with all of this on the back and his blast effects and the matrix and everything that's here, it's still only 77 grams. It's pathetic. When a Voyager is 145 to 165, this is pathetic. To call this a Voyager is an insult to every fan out there. It's not. It's an okay deluxe, and when you watch most reviews, not mine, but when you watch most reviews, most reviewers compare this guy to other deluxes. You can't do that. This isn't the deluxe. You have to assess it as a Voyager because that's what they positioned it as in the market. This is the one time where fans were wildly taken advantage of and support it. And I don't understand it. I don't like this. But let me tell you why fans did vote for this and what they did like. They said he is the perfect looking version of Hot Rod. I mean, I don't like that none of his joints are the correct color, but people said that. They said the transformation is smooth as silk. I don't find that. In fact, I know that there have been issues of the pipes breaking off. I know there's been issue with the visor breaking off. And I personally don't understand why the lower legs feel like they were done backwards to me. They should have been a lot easier than what they are, but that's what fans said. Fans also said that his articulation is stupendous, like amazing. It's flawless, except, you know, when you put the arm up, it can't go out. I've seen a bunch of people who put the arm up and snapped it at the shoulder. Poor design. I don't know. Fans love it. I can't argue with that. I mean, the thing is number 2. It may have been number 1 if some of the votes didn't get messed up. I could believe it. I know fans love it. I don't get it. But anyway you cut it, because this is based on fan vote, 86 Hot Rod takes the number 2 slot. And now we come very tippy top number 1. And number 1 I do understand. Number 1 I absolutely agree with the fans, because number 1 is the Kingdom Rodimus Prime. Now, one guy said it looked like his chest was stabbed a bunch of times. I'm assuming he's talking about the 2 little vents up here, but I don't really know why he said that, but okay, whatever. A lot of people that have gripes with this say that the head is a gripe to them, which is funny. I get that it's not G1 accurate, because if anything, even when he upgrades, like, he still basically keeps the 86 head, right? But I never liked the character of Hot Rod. I never liked the character of Rodimus Prime. Until this. I like the older, more stoic head. And you know what? As I sit here now, it's probably because I like the more mature, stoic version of him that was Energon, which is a shock to me as much as it's a shock to you. I don't know. I think I could have got behind this character more if he was mature, battle-tested. I never identified with him when he was young and reckless and careless. I never ever identified with that because I was never careless and reckless, I guess. I don't know. But this, a lot of people that did vote for it said, look, you get a great alt mode. I think that the trailer's a little too big, but you know what? It does so many things. It feels so good in hand. Paint everywhere, from the chest to the thighs to the spoiler to the face to the arms to everything. The articulation on this is stupendous. Still doesn't really go too far out to the side, which is a bit of a bummer, but it goes out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, again, is it perfect? No. I mean, what is? But was it a strong Commander class offering? Yes. Even when I reviewed this, I said it is a true blue Commander class, but they can't cut mass, they can't cut paint, they can't cut parts count, they can't cut anything and still call it a Commander class. This was a Commander class, but it was exactly what we needed for a Rodimus Prime. That's the way fans vote. I agree with it, and it took the number 1 slot. There you go, man. 10 down to 1 once again. What other ones had votes? How about the Power of the Prime's Rodimus Unicronus, which I actually like better than the Rodimus Prime. The Shatterglass, like overall scheme of Shatterglass Rodimus Prime, not necessarily the 86, like the actual Rodimus Prime in Shatterglass colors. 3 zeros, M Deluxe Rodimus. That's a very good robot version of it. Cyberverse Rodimus had some votes. Animated had some votes. MP40 had some votes. The Takara Legends, which is a version of the Titan's Return Hot Rod that comes with the his target master partner Fire Drive. I keep calling him Fire Drive now. It's eluding me. Let's see, DX9's Terror, which is their version of Shattered Glass. The Takara Henkei 2008, which is the Deluxe Classics Rodimus, or Hot Rod. You know what didn't get any votes? That surprised me. The Kingdom Core class didn't get any votes, and the Combiner Wars Legends class didn't get any votes at all. Those two kind of surprised me, but those and some more did get votes. Let me know if your favorites actually made the list or not. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, of course, hit the subscribe button. Stick around, please, and thank you, and have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget that somehow, someway, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.